5 of Chicago's major pro sports teams have joined efforts to try to help combat the city's persistent street violence. Operating as the Chicago Sports Alliance, the Bears, Blackhawks, Bulls, Cubs, and White Sox committed a combined $1 million to the cause Wednesday. The money will be split between the University of Chicago Crime Lab and an intense mentoring program aimed at youths in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood who are most at risk of engaging in violence. While the donation is relatively small considering the team's revenues and the scope of the problem, the effort marks the first time that the owners have collectively acknowledged their responsibility to address Chicago's violence. In a statement announcing the alliance, the teams also said their ongoing individual charitable and community efforts will continue. While we understand that as sports teams we don't have all the answers to solving such complicated issues, we do appreciate the incredible position of leadership that we are fortunate to hold, said Bulls and White Sox chairman Jerry Reinsdorf, whose teams play on the south and west sides, where much of the violence is concentrated. We have a responsibility to give back to our city. These teams have brought championships to Chicago, but the great people of the city deserve a champion or an alliance of champions to stand together against this unacceptable level of community violence. Individual players have on occasion taken a stand on the crime problem in the past. In 2015, then Bulls forward Joakim Noah released an anti-violence video that included fellow NBA players and Chicago teens sharing how violence touched their lives. In 2016, ESPN hosted a forum here that focused on gun violence. At the time, White Sox executive vice president Ken Williams described Chicago's violence problem as desperate. "But I don't believe there aren't any answers," he said. "I believe there absolutely are answers, but it's going to take civic leaders, business leaders, entertainment. It's going to take corporate America as well. In addition to that, it's going to take some deep thinkers to combine forces with everyone and create a plan and execute that plan systematically neighborhood by neighborhood." Last year, Chicago was reeling from the violence. Shootings and homicides spiked about 50%, leading the 5 teams into a conversation about forming an alliance to address the problem. Since then, team executives have been working with the U.of.C. Crime Lab, which partners with Chicago police to analyze the city's gun violence to better understand the problem and potential solutions. Chicago faces numerous challenges. Guns flow onto city streets, often from neighboring states with more lax gun laws. An entrenched gang culture remains prevalent as hundreds of mostly young men are regularly drawn into retaliations and drug turf spats. Years of unaddressed civil rights abuses by officers against residents living in the most dangerous neighborhoods have badly damaged the trust needed for the community and police to join efforts to reduce crime. Meanwhile, officers have suffered from lack of training for years, one of many problems cited in a scathing U.S.